Oh, what a start. The old 7-10 in the pocket, Earl.
The old wall shot 7-10. It looked like the ball was kind of rolled out, David. What do you think?
Well, I think Greg is the type of player where he's all feel and touch, and he's a very soft with the ball. But boy, when he gets it going, he can throw a lot of strikes.
That soft speed kind of helped the carry there? Or?
It can. When he gets on a roll, it's incredible. He's basically dominated the Southwest region the last couple of years, at one time winning 4 regionals in a row. But Norm Duke up here on lane 34, he can do it all.
Let's see what shot Norm's going to be using. Remember, he experimented a little at the end of that last match. He's right back where he was. That one just a little light. 2-4-5.
You know, I know that respect and pride and these things are real important to Norm Duke. Has he earned the respect of his peers out here?
I don't think there's any question. You know, Norm has gotten to a level where a lot of us dream of. He can do it by hooking the ball and do it by throwing the ball extremely straight, as he covers the 2-4-5 there without a problem. He's definitely extremely talented young player, and he's going to be the man to beat on the tour, him and Walter Ray, I think, in the next 3 or 4 years.
Well, he's not that much younger than you are, is he?
Well,
he's 31. What are you?
I'm 35. But,
well, that's not old. That looks pretty young to me, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Anything's young to you, Mike.
Well, that's true. There he is. Well, that reminds me of a shot there, you know, I'll tell you.
Look familiar, does
it? Yes, it does.
Well, I think Norm has the ability, as Earl had, that he can literally place the ball anywhere he wants to on the lane, either throwing it straight or hooking it, and I think that's a big advantage.
You know, you mentioned that, Dave, that Greg Kemp had won 4 regionals in a row in the same year. He won 5, actually, altogether that year, but I talked to him about that, the fact that he's such a great regional player, and a lot of people told him that, hey, you're just winning down here because you know the shot in this area and all that kind of stuff. And he says the most important thing for him today would be to win this tournament and get the respect for his abilities that would give him by winning on the national tour and beating the great players.
Well, missing 2 pins isn't going to get it done, though. I mean, that ball just turned left right in the middle of the lane there.
Sure did, but maybe he's just trying to fake Duke out. What do you think? Or make him overconfident? You think that's possible? Duke's such a tiger, nothing's going to bother him. He's just going to get up there and bowl. We're going to take a look at that spare that Greg Kemp missed here. And it looks to me like he just got a little lazy with it, a little soft. He expected there'd be a lot of oil in the middle of the lane. And remember, I talked about spares. Once it gets down the lane, it has a tendency to really move hard left. There's what happened.
Well, I think yeah, exactly. Early didn't play for enough hook and went too straight, and the ball just bit and hooked right by it.
Look at here. That looks familiar.
Well, it's going to stand. The machine's got it now. Even if it falls at this point in time, they'll have to put it back up.
Well, years ago, Mike, when you were bowling, most of the time they had pin buoys, and that would have fallen down. The pin buoy would have let it fall down. But since we have the automatic pin spotters now,
exactly right, Earl.
And this Brunswick machine picks it up, puts a wiggle back on it, puts it right back on spot. See
of course,
that?
you were still playing baseball at that time, weren't you? Yes.
Bad break for Norm. A real good break for Greg Kemp. Puts him right back in the match here, even though he's had 2 opens already. Start the match, Dave. He's still in it.
I don't think there's any question. I think, you know, Greg came out with little butterflies. He's basically a part-time player. I think he wants to become a full-time player, and having to bowl the Bowler of the Year is no easy chore. Player of the Year, and with all this talent, especially starting with a 250 game, you have to look at that. Absolutely. Greg's probably thinking in the back of his mind, I'm going to have to shoot 240 or 50 to win the game, and that's awful tough to come out here knowing that that's what you have to do.
When you get in that situation, do you look at it just 1 frame at a time here, 1 shot at a time?
I think you have to, Mike. I think you just have to bowl the pins and hopefully get in a zone where you just are bowling, doing the best you can, bowling against the pins, throwing strike after strike. Not worry about your opponent.
Well, he's got another shot at that 2-pin.
Well, I think he'll do a little better with it this time. We're going to take a look at Greg Kemp's style here, and Dave Husted, you can help me out a little bit. You can see that he does sit very slowly to the foul line here, Dave, and you can see he cups the wrist.
Right, he has hardly any arm swing early. It's kind of a muscled swing from the shoulder. That's one thing I'd like to see Greg maybe improve on a little bit, loosen up the arm swing, the leisure to be consistent in making good shots.
Well, you know, he missed this last time, and it doesn't look like he's going to. He made a big move here on the lane. We'll way to the right, give it a chance to hook back into it rather than down the middle.
Still just barely got it there.
Oh, well, that's why they put a lot of paint on him. He got most of it.
Has to hurry, and does. And the 5 goes over, late, but goes over.
Well, he needs a couple of good breaks just to get him going. I think if he can get relaxed, I think Dave Husted made a very good point when he said that he was nervous, and you know, he's bowling against the best player maybe in the world right now. Here's a look at that pin action, Dave, and look at that 5-pin dance and spin.
Just get over.
What is it? 9 degrees it has to tilt to fall? And
That's what they say.
well, Duke getting a little animated there.
Well, he's a competitor, and he's showing you that spirit right now. He's not going to let this match get away if he can do anything about it.
Norm knew that he was on a strike there, and he could pick up an extra 10 pins throwing that double there. He wasted no time just pouncing on it.
Norm also seems like a master psychologist. I mean, if he can intimidate an opponent in a certain way, he's going to do it.
He's a great match game player. He loves to play match game. He likes to play you heads up, and he'll play you for his own money. He's not afraid of anybody.
That's exactly right. And the thing about match play is it doesn't matter if you each shoot 250 or each shoot 150. If it's 151 to 150, that's all. Obviously, that's all it takes. And Norm will play into that. If he has to play a little mind games with you, bowling slow, bowling fast, whatever it takes, he'll do it.
That's part of the game. There's a psychology in a game, and the guys that are the smartest upstairs, not only talent-wise physically, but you have to use your head also. It's a good point, Dave.
At the 10-pin, he has no trouble. Duke's ahead by 19. Kemp's working on a strike. We're going to go away for some important messages. Stay tuned for them, please.
I've stopped playing baseball.
It's like he's just really right now, when the way he went up and shot that washout, that spare there, like he was just trying to get out of Duke's way.
Just wasted no time. I was kind of surprised. It's still anybody's match.
You think he's embarrassed a little?
I don't think he's embarrassed. I think he's disappointed more than anything, because he came in here, as I mentioned, I talked to him. He felt very confident with his game right now. He feels he's rolling the ball well. I think the lane condition might have fooled him a little bit. I think he's not getting the back end he might have been getting earlier in the tournament. The lanes haven't gone through quite the transition they might have with more play. So he's probably not getting quite the ball reaction he wanted. A man like Duke, with all the experience he has, the ability to play anywhere on the lane, is a definite advantage.
I think you'll see Greg learns from this. I know you're Earl and Mike as well. We all go up, kind of look and see how the bowler's playing the lanes, and I don't think maybe Greg did that. Norm's throwing the ball hard and straight and has a very successful shot.
Well, that was evident also when he bowled Steve Hoskins in the first match. Steve, a very fine player as far as hooking the ball a lot, and Greg Kemp is closer to that style by far than he is Norm Duke's style, and he wasn't successful. And so obviously that means that if Steve couldn't do it, Greg probably can't do it either.
I think you're right. And the results are as we're seeing now.
Duke, as you look at him, is just a picture of confidence. He just exudes it in every step that he takes.
Well, he said it. Excuse me, Dave. He said it when we talked.